Are you wondering what might be triggering your anxiety in your brain? What some brain anxiety triggers might be? Well, in this video, this is part one of several videos where I'm going to discuss some of the brain triggers, some of the neurological and biochemical components of what triggers anxiety in your brain, what creates some of these persistent emotions and what keeps them going. We'll also discuss some of the treatment approaches that are used, which kind of inform us on what biochemical imbalances might be present to trigger this anxiety in your brain. So if this interests you, keep watching. Again, this is part one of 2 or 3 different videos on what triggers anxiety in your brain. We're all about helping you gain deeper knowledge and understanding of what's going on in your body. That's why we produce these videos. So hopefully this edition gets you a little bit closer towards that aim. I also wanted to point out that sometimes when I'm producing these videos and content, that sometimes I get a slight thing wrong, like quoting something, a stat or a name of something. And so there's a corresponding blog article on our website, swintegratedmedicine.com/blog, that has a lot more detail and will correct those mistakes if there are any. It doesn't happen that often, but sometimes it does, and the blog article will correct for those. So I also wanted to point out that if you like this type of information, please click on the like button and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you watching. If you do have any questions about any of the content, either here or on the blog, that's what the comment section is for, to ask those questions. So again, thanks for watching, and let's dig into it. So we want to look at what triggers anxiety in the brain. What are the biochemicals behind these anxious feelings that you experience? And to answer this question, first want to point out that the specifics for every single case is not really known. So if I give you 2 or 3 causes, that doesn't mean your anxiety is necessarily going to fall in within these. But what I hope to do is paint a picture of what the leading research and treatment approaches are for anxiety, and with that we can sort of paint a picture of why the brain, what's going on in the brain to create this anxiety to begin with. And part of the reason why it's so difficult to, say, these are the only 3 reasons that people have anxiety, or only 3 patterns that are going on in the brain, is because it's not all the same. Some people have anxiety for different reasons. So it's not a homogeneous or consistent condition. And that's, similar to a lot of different things in the human body. A lot of different disease states or problems that we experience will have, different causes. They're not all the same, but so what we want to look at is the patterns and themes that can help us understand what's causing anxiety in the brain. And specifically, we want to look at the biochemicals that seem to be behind these persistent emotions. So from the broadest sort of step back or top-down view, anxiety seems to be generated from 2 states. State of too much or too little, and this is speaking of in biochemical terms, and that makes sense when you look at it. The human body's in a constant state of shifting equilibrium, or shifting its state of what it considers equilibrium, and it will shift that based on the environment that you're in and what your brain's natural state is inclined to. And these the 2 main states that it's sort of shifting between is to be stimulated and sedated. So when you're sleeping, obviously you're more sedated, hopefully, and when you're awake or excited about something, you're more stimulated. And when you're anxious, typically you're more stimulated. So the chemicals responsible for these 2 states are always present in your body or your brain, but sometimes one is higher than the other depending on the specific your specific design, your personality, and the environment that you find yourself in. So naturally you would think that, okay, well, if I'm anxious, I probably have too much of the stimulatory neurotransmitters, and naturally that would be a good thing to assume, but it's not always true. I mean, sometimes you can have too little of the sedating chemicals, but that's not even 100% true, because sometimes people will have low levels of stimulatory neurotransmitters or neurochemicals, and then they lack focus and lack ambition. That too can cause anxiety. So just to sort of make this a little bit simpler for the video, we're going to sort of focus on those first two states, though: excess stimulation or not enough sedating neurochemicals. Part two of brain anxiety triggers, we're going to discuss the neurochemicals, specific neurochemicals that are most commonly associated with anxiety and what triggers anxiety in the brain. And we're going to get into some of the details of these biochemicals. So hopefully that was helpful in giving you a deeper understanding of what might be going on in your brain to shift the relative balance in some of those biochemicals that will tend to trigger that anxiety in your brain. Part two, we'll go into more detail on some of the actual biochemicals. So if you want to be notified when that comes out, then subscribe to the channel. If you do have any questions about anything that was raised here, then leave it in the comment section. And if you have any general comments, you can leave them there as well. Hopefully you like the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.